To eliminate is an English word that means to get rid of something. To eliminate is an English word that means to eliminate, to get rid of something. So during elimination method, we are getting rid of one variable in our equation. So what that means is, if you have a set of simultaneous equations like this, let's say, for example, you have x plus 2y is equals to 5, then 2x 2x minus y is equals to, let's say, 1. Now, what the elimination method is saying is, in your equations, you have two variables, x and y. Now, what this method is saying is, get rid of one variable. Get rid of one variable. And that is what we mean by to eliminate. So to eliminate, it's up to you. You are going to choose to get rid either of the y or either of the x. It's really fairly unto you, really unto you. So you are the one who is going to choose which method, which variable are you eliminating? Are you eliminating the x or are you eliminating the y? Now, we eliminate by adding or subtracting. That's the first key point. We eliminate either by adding or subtracting. Now, let's say, for example, we want to eliminate x in these equations. Let's say maybe we want to eliminate x. Now, for you to eliminate x, first thing, you have to make sure that the coefficients of your variables are the same in both equations. You have to make sure that the coefficients of your variables, the ones that you want to eliminate, they are the same in both equations. For example, there is a 1 here, but the 1 is not written. Let's say, for example, we want to eliminate x. So it means those two variables, those two coefficients are different. We have coefficient 1 and coefficient 2. So you have to make those coefficients the same. And we make them the same by multiplying by any number that will make them the same. So in this case, I'm going to choose to multiply by 2. It's always easier to multiply by the smallest number possible to make your life easier. So it's always best to multiply by the smallest number possible. So in this case, I'll multiply by 2. And the other equation, I'm just going to leave it there. I'm not going to do anything to it. Because if I multiply the first equation by 2, this is what I'm going to get. I'm going to get 2x plus 4y is equals to 10. So that number that you are multiplying with, it multiplies everything throughout your equation. It multiplies every term in your equation. Then I said the second equation, I'm not doing anything to it. So which means I leave it like that. So now if we can look at our variables. So our variables, our coefficients are the same. So if the coefficients are the same, so it means we can now continue with working out our problem. So remember I said we eliminate either by adding or subtracting. Now, the one that you are eliminating, you should always get a 0. So you have to look at your two terms, the ones that you want to eliminate. Look at them carefully and ask yourself, what can I do to these terms for me to get a 0? Am I adding them or am I subtracting them for me to get a 0? But this one, if you look at it extensively, for us to get a 0, it means we have to subtract. We have to say 2x minus 2x. Then we will get a 0. I'll repeat that. For us to get a 0 for these two terms, it means we have to subtract 2x minus 2x. We're going to get a 0. Then we subtract all the terms in our equations. So if you have subtracted 2x and 2x, it means the next thing that you have to subtract is 4y minus negative y. 4y minus negative y. And 4y minus negative y is going to give us a 5y. Then 10 minus 0 is going to give us a 10, which means our equations now reduce to 5y is equals to 10. Then find the value of y. So divide everything by 5, divide everything by 5. So we divide everything by the coefficient of our variable at that time. So the 5 cancels the 5, since they are like terms and like terms cancel each other. Then we have y equals to 10 divided by 5, it is 2. Now, you have found the value of y. Now, find the value of x. Find the value of x. Now, to find the value of x, you're going to pick any equation, either this one or this one, or even this one. Remember, this one is just the first equation, just that we have rewritten the first equation. So it's up to you. Pick any of these equations that you have. Then substitute the value of y in them to get the value of x. So it means now we are going to get x plus 2y. Our y is 2. So it means now I'm not putting in the y, but I'm putting in the value of y, which is 2, which we got here. Then this is equals to 5. Then continue working out. We now get x plus 4 is equals to 5. We want to find the value of x. So it means we have to take the 4 this side. We take the 4 on the other side of the equal sign, or we collect like terms. 4 and 5 are like terms because they both don't have variables. So then our expression reduces to x is equals to 5 minus 4. Then x is equals to 1. So that's our final answer for 1. And I mean, that's our final answer for x. And we are done. Now, I think you can remember what I'm doing here. The reason why I have minus 4 instead of a positive 4. The reason why it's like that is we said whenever you take a number, you are taking it on the other side of the equal sign. Its sign is changing. Its sign is changing. If it was positive, it becomes negative. If it was negative, it becomes positive. So in this case, we have a positive 4. So it means when the positive 4 goes on the other side of the equal sign, so it is going to become negative. So that's how we solve simultaneous equation using elimination. Then I'm going to do another example. Let's take 3x minus y is equals to 6. Then let's take 2x plus 4y equals to, let's say, maybe 1. We are solving by elimination. Then I said the first thing is up to you. You choose which variable you want to eliminate. It's up to you. You choose which variable you want to eliminate. In this example, I will choose to eliminate y. I'll choose to get rid of y. So now the next thing then that follows is, okay, it's okay to want to eliminate y, still fine, but are the coefficients of y in both of your equations the same? That's the next thing that you have to ask yourself. Are the coefficients of y in both equations the same? They are not the same. So if we can look at the first equation, then the coefficient of y is 1. So, but the coefficient of y in the second equation is 4. So then it means the next thing that you have to do is make the coefficients the same. And I said to make the coefficients the same, we multiply by the smallest number possible. So I'm going to multiply the entire first equation by 4 so that I can have a coefficient of 4 here. So I'm going to rewrite my equation. Remember, the 4 is going to multiply everything there. The 4 is going to multiply every time in your equation. So 3x times 4, I'm going to get 12x minus y times 4, I'm going to get 4y equals to 6 times 4 is 24. Then I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything to the second equation. So I'm just leaving it like that because after all, my coefficients are now the same. So now look at your y, the one that you want to eliminate or get rid of. You have a negative 4 on top and a positive 4 down. Remember I said we eliminate by either adding or subtracting. So look at your two numbers and ask yourself, what can you do to them for you to get a 0? Because I said we need a 0 here. The one that you are eliminating should give you a 0 here. So, which means from what I see, it means we have to add our equations so that when we take negative 4 plus 4, we are going to get a 0. But then remember, what you do there, you do everywhere in your other terms. So it means we are going to have 12x plus 2x. It is going to give us 14x. Then we move on this side. 24 plus 1, it is going to give us 25. So which means your equation or your expression has reduced to 14x is equals to 25. Then we are solving for x, divide by 14, divide by 14. Then this 14 cancels this 14, so you are left with an x there. Then divide the 25 by 14. Divide the 25 by 14, then you'll get 1.79. You'll get 1.79. So that's the value of your x. So we do the same thing. After finding the value of your x, find the value of your y. Find the value of your y. So you're going to pick any of those equations, any of the equations that you had before, and substitute the value of x that you have for you to get the value of y. So I'll choose that equation right now. So I'm going to take it and rewrite it 3x. So I'm no longer writing x because I already have the value of x, which is 1.79 minus y is equal to 6. Then remove the brackets. How much is 1.79 multiplied by 3? It gives us 5.37. Then we continue rewriting our equation. Then, minus y equals to 6. So we want to find the value of y. So it means take this side, so that on one side, you are only left with y, and your y is a negative y. So which means your negative y becomes 6 minus 5.37. The 5.37 is positive. So when it gets on the other side of the, equal sign, so it becomes negative. So it means negative y is equals to 6 minus 5.37, then you're going to get 0.63. Now, look at what you have. What you now have is a negative y, but when you are interested in the value of y, not the value of negative y. So divide everything by -1, divide everything by -1, so that you can have a positive value for y. So it means your final answer for y becomes y is equals to -0.63. So those are your two answers. Your y is equals to -0.23 and your x is equals to 1.79. So remember what I said, every simultaneous equation should give you two answers for the variables that you have in your equations.